passionate for what you love, and you're serious about it. When you see our cameras at the show, then we want to talk about it. Fair weather fans need not apply. We seek nerds that are true. Just beware not to piss us off. It's the one thing not to do. It's the Angrygeeks show. It's the Angrygeeks show.
And what episode today? You guys know me. I'm Louis Perry, and go ahead because the comments are already rolling in. Go ahead.
What? Everybody knows.
Say
I
hi.
am.
Yes, I know. And what happens?
Kevin. Yeah, hello, Kevin. You have to post this comment.
Yeah, I know. And go ahead, there, guy. Say hi, Ali.
Well, if I don't want to say hi, I just want
because
to
Aviva was waiting for you to say hi.
Hey, Aviva. I thought
you.
I thought you
say
said
hi.
You, I thought he was saying say hi to him like this. Never.
No.
Never. I always beat up every time you say hi to me. Like I
no.
have no idea who that guy is. Yes, Ali made it. You're welcome.
Oh my God. Yeah. And with us this week, you guys seen them on the show. That's Toy Store 2, the only Liz and Terry Taylor. Guys, you guys got some people watching us right there tonight. And no, it's not Corey Lanchester. It's Chris. Oh, geez, the comments are just pouring in. I don't know if it's Jamie or you guys. And it's Chris.
Was on the show with us.
Oh, thank you, Aviva.
Oh, yes, that's awesome. So before we get into, okay, guys, okay, Jamie, say hi to your fans. God, we got Brian Rose, Tim Jones, everybody. Nick, hi, Nick. Okay, great round. Thank you. I did this in honor of our guest. Thank you very much. So, guys, tell us a little bit about your experience on the show first before we get into both your backgrounds. How did that come about?
First thing, what's the name of the show, please?
A toy store near you.
Okay. And that's the show that could be found on Amazon and YouTube?
Amazon Prime, and also on the Nacelle Company official YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, Lou, that's how you promote a show, Lou. You don't say the show. It's like that. What show are you talking about?
Do you read our post? Do you read our post?
Mockingbird Lane. How long had the show been open? How long have you had the store?
We're going on about 2.5 years of the store, but we've been doing conventions for about a decade.
Okay.
Yeah, and very interesting when Rich and Brian, who did the Toys That Made Us on Netflix, they're the ones who are the masterminds behind A Toy Store Near You. Rich called me at the store and was like, "Hey, my name's Rich. I'm a producer on the Toys That Made Us. I'm not sure if you ever heard of the show." And I was watching the show as he called.
Get up out of here.
And Terry thought he was getting
I laughed. I was like, oh yeah. I've heard of the show. Yep. And I thought it was a joke the whole time. He's like, we're doing this new TV show talking about toy stores all over the world surviving during the pandemic, and people told us we should contact you, and blah blah. And he gave me the spiel, and the whole time I'm like, because the one thing that's different from cell phones and landline phones is the landline phone at the store gets calls all the time. Like, hey, can I get your social security number? It's like total scams all the time on the landline.
So you two had Albert from Nigeria talk about how he's stuck in a cave somewhere and he asked you the prince. Okay. Yeah. Have your money showed up yet? Because I've been looking now for the past 3 months and like $13 million in here. So Albert, you're listening from Nigeria. What's up, dude?
That's what we thought it was. So he got my email and he's like, yeah, we'll be sending some documents over. And I was like, yeah, right.
Okay.
Anyway, and then, within like 5 minutes, I get these documents from Nacelle Company and, Rich and Toys That Made Us and blah, blah, blah. And I email him back. I was like,
First of all, I'm sorry. I wasn't. I didn't know you were serious.
You weren't rude to him, were you? Like it's like,
No,
yeah, all right,
no,
buddy,
just
yeah,
kind of
all right.
dismissive and just sort of like, oh yeah, sure.
I might not have been as, I'm very talky, so I might not have been as talkative as I might have been.
Hey, at least you didn't do like me last time when like the president called my house and I held the phone over and I flushed the toilet. Like, sure. If you listening, Biden,
Well-
my bad. Can I get my stimulus check, please? Please.
Yeah.
I could. To be honest, I can relate. When I was on Comic Book Man, the same thing happened. I get this email, and I was like, okay, do you want somebody to talk about the Green Lantern? Yeah, okay, whatever. And I dismissed it. And then I get, did you get an email? I'm like, yeah, about 3 weeks ago. You better answer it. I'm like, oh. So then there was the email, and I called, and they're like, yeah, you didn't think you were in. Oh, I'm interested.
Oh my God.
So they actually. Oh, I just made it through the window too. I felt about that big,
That
and
would've been so
but yeah,
bad.
oh yes, it will. You're a rock star. Not only do you own a toy store, you're a rock star as well.
Well,
Come on.
used to.
I'm afraid we were trying to do some of those old moves. He'd probably break a hip or end up in the hospital. But so when I first met Terry, he was a traveling musician and also a music promoter. And so music, has been pretty much his entire life since he was 16 years old, and living in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And then he moved here in 2002, right? 3. And we met just because we happened to be working in the same bar. He was as a promoter and I was a bartender, and I didn't really know much about his music background. I just knew he worked there, and we had a lot of the similar interests in the same type of music and everything. And it just so happened he was still actively touring when we first started dating, but because of the fact that, his whole band was still back in Sioux Falls, I had never actually seen them play live before. So he went out on tour, and then they were going to just happen to come through Lawrence on their way back to South Dakota. And so I literally was like, okay, this will be cool. I'll actually get a chance to see what he's like when he performs. And kind of like in the show, I mentioned about how seeing him that first time, literally, I had to scrape my jaw off the floor because I only knew him as this kind of timid, mild-mannered, really sweet person. But when he gets on stage, it's like a completely different person. It's just, it's so crazy. But it was also really cool to see this completely other side of him.
Awesome. Hey, real quick. Can we wish Denise a happy birthday? Don't look a thing like the age you say, girl. We all know you're 25.
Happy birthday, Denise.
Who you saying I'm not even gonna say your real age is look like 25. Happy birthday, Denise. Now back to you guys. Okay, so I want. Go ahead, Lou. Go ahead. Go.
One at a time.
Go on. You know, Lou. I got you.
All right.
Bye.
This is why he's just an associate geek. Jamie and I have to deal with this on a weekly basis when he does show up and he's not sleeping.
Dan Corona.
He doesn't know I can mute his mic.
Well, he does now.
Yeah, I know. Anyhow, a lot of your store, a lot of the stock in your store is a lot of horror things. What is the most unique thing that you have in the store that you don't want to sell, but you want to sell, but you want to keep? What is the most popular thing? I did see you just had a Beetlejuice figure in there. Buddy, you should see my room.
I get the thing is it's funny how a store opens because that was never the intent. I was a touring musician from the age of 15 to the age of 40, and that was my primary income and primary occupation. And I bought stuff over North America, Canada, and Mexico. And when you're touring from 2 to 3 months at a time, you buy things, you get home, you throw it in a room or a storage unit, then you're only home for a month.
Yeah.
She knows, she can attest like, then I'd be home for a month, and then I'd leave for another 2-3 months.
And then he'd rebuy pretty much the exact same thing all over again.
Because you just don't,
because he forgets what he bought the first time around.
Well, especially in the late 80s and through the 90s, we didn't have the internets and the smartphones. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have easier way to keep track of what we have. And so I would be in Mexico, and something would be, the U.S. dollar used to be worth a lot more in Canada and Mexico back then. So I could get 3 of what I could get in the U.S. So I just ended up accumulating storage units full of stuff. And quite a few years ago, I decided to start liquidating it by doing
conventions.
Conventions, did that for like 7 years. Yeah. Then we started a makeshift store out of our garage for a year, where we did the second weekend every month. We did a garage sale, but I had the garage set up like a toy store. We even had a mural of the Munsters Mansion painted on the garage floor, and did that for a year, and that just was gangbusters. And then we decided to take the leap, and we were just literally walking downtown and saw this little space. We're currently in a new space. You probably can't tell, but we're in a different space now from the TV show. The pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you saw the show, you saw that the other spot
tiny
was 280 square feet.
And when you guys did the show, how did that go about? I mean, with the pandemic going on, how did they film it? Like, did they?
We filmed it.
You guys filmed it
on our iPhones.
Yeah. Okay, I remember. Because the guy that run the show, I heard him on Word Balloon. I believe he did say something about you guys, the people that he interviewed. They got their camera. So you guys filmed it, and then you guys had to send it off to them to be edited.
There's never been, and a lot of people don't know the behind the scenes with the show. There's never been a show filmed like this prior. They would have each store film. They gave you kind of loose guidelines. They gave us a loose guidelines, but we really weren't sure what to do. So we just kind of had to fly by the seat of our pants. But we would film like 4 segments in a night, and we would Dropbox it to them. They would review the footage, and then come back and say, okay, clip A, B, and C are great. Clip D, could you elaborate more on that toy or
this particular subject or something like that? Or
so through this whole process, they're taking the footage from the stores, and the nacelle company used to have one central building in LA. Well, when there's a pandemic and everyone has to work from home, I think Brian told me there was something like 30 some households that the footage went through.
Wow.
They drop it to the guy who'd clean up the sound, to the animator, to their lawyers, so it would get sent to all these different houses, and then if the lawyers said, oh gosh, there's something in the background that's no bueno, then it's, we got to recut it and change that and do. And so there's never been a TV show done like this before, and I don't think if you didn't know that watching it, you would know that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that catch me off guard. I mean, this show is so unique, and now that you're telling me you're telling us how this show being filmed, this seemed like a headache.
Yeah. I can't.
It was a total labor of love. I mean, they had a lot of other projects on their plate at the time when they started working on this, and this was kind of like we honestly were thinking that it would just kind of get pushed to the wayside, and maybe it'll come out someday, and hopefully it'll work out for us in the end. But when it did, when we actually got a chance to see our episode for the first time, we were, of course, like bracing each other, hoping for the best, that it was going to turn out good. Because when you film something on your phone, you're kind of like, well, I hope I did good enough, because there's nobody here directing us. We literally. My
concern would be like, I hope my fingers are not in the way.
She's the director. Yeah. But I mean, we sent them what do you think, 15 to 20 hours of footage?
I mean, easily.
And so they had to whittle it down to 24 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And kudos to you two. I mean, I would have been kind of irritated after like the third phone call. Like, could you do this next? I'm like, look, I gave you 8 hours of my life. Take it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's done so much for us as a store. I mean, so many things convalesced at the same time that worked for our store. Like we started doing these live sales right before the TV show, and the live sales were doing so well. We'd only did 1 or 2 prior, and then with the release of the Amazon show,
they just kind of worked together.
It just turned it, and I refused to have a website prior that you could buy from. I know, as silly as that sounds, but I want people in my store. I want to talk to people. I used to want to hug people, but that's on hold for a while.
We'll be hugging again.
But yeah. But once the pandemic happened, we had to learn very fast that if the store was going to survive, we had to start at least selling some things online. So a good friend of mine named Ross put our site together in like a week, and the site, the live sales, and then the Amazon show all kind of came together at the same time. And honestly, all those online sales through the quarantine and even now have helped make up that difference of what's not walking in through the front door right now with the pandemic and everything. And we can't say thank you enough to them.
Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
When did you guys actually do the filming? Because I know your segment aired in like June. I think it was.
Yeah.
We filmed
I want to say it was like spring.
March through May.
Yeah. It really, honestly,
so you were
for our episode was pretty quick.
They were editing the week that our episode came out.
Wow.
Okay.
Yep. Well, and that was because I know you guys had talked about too how much of a struggle it was. You were filming this when really everything was in lockdown, complete lockdown, and then they aired it. So how has your shop has it recovered from that? Like, are you guys allowed to have people shopping in there now at this point? Or I don't know what it's like where you guys are. So
right.
Yeah, we reopened. We reopened August? No. When?
Let me think about this. I want to say it was maybe
end of July. August?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, towards the end of the summer, I believe, was when they finally were like, okay, numbers are starting to get to the point where it's safe enough for people to actually come into the stores and you guys can open back up again. But there were a few moments where like numbers started to raise back up and both of us were kind of like, oh crap, here we go again. And then just never quite got to that point, which was, I mean, good and bad, but
we still, we're both in the medical field as well. And we knew our tiny little 280 square foot store was not safe for our customers. Like we had to sit and figure out
what to do.
Like, I mean, there was points where like, should we just close and just reopen in 2 years?
Because we were having to limit when we could have people in. We were limiting how many people could be in at a time.
We didn't have to. We chose to.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, but our customers were so awesome that they would literally just stand outside and wait their turn. And it would be 30 minutes sometimes while other people were inside and shopping, waiting for their opportunity for them to come out to be able to go in. And as awesome as that was, it definitely felt like, we're asking a lot. We're really putting our customers in a position to really have to like make choices and decisions just to be able to come here and support us. So even though, money was tight and we really weren't sure that this was the best decision, we had an opportunity that kind of showed itself. It just kind of like fell into our lap a little bit and it was too good to be true. So we just kind of jumped on it and went into a larger space that's literally, no joke, 3 doors down from our original location. So moving actually really wasn't that bad.
Like like with the store being so close by, 3 doors down, and don't get us wrong. I mean, it's considerably more expensive for us to be in our new spot. I mean, it's a bigger spot. We're in the prime downtown district of our city. But the landlord's amazing. The landlord's like, he's a toy fanatic. He's like,
he gets it.
Yeah. He's like, what can we do to make this work for you? If you ever get in a bind, and that was another thing about Brian from the cell. He would always call me. He's like, Terry, if you guys get in a bind and it seems like things.
He's always like, how's it going?
Yeah. And he's the nicest.
Okay. So you guys still stay connected. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, the cell company, like everyone associated with it have been so nice. And they truly want to make sure stores like ours, the mom and pop stores, come out. It's not face value. They truly care.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then in October, Halloween weekend, we moved into this new space. Took us 9 days, which was a whole other, Liz can attest. That took years off my life.
This little gray street right here. This is
I'm
from that move.
Can we all just take a moment that I have two rock stars mention the name of a rock band called Three Doors Down that they moved down three doors.
No.
I just like okay. I see what you did there, and I tip my hat to you. Nice.
All right, let's get to some comments here. Hold on, Ali. Hold on, we got to get some comments. Chris Fitzgerald says you guys are worth the support.
He's
and
such a good
goes
customer
up with
at the
saying,
store.
He's a great guy.
yeah, and he also says that the new store is awesome. And we also have Kyle says if you guys can get a level booster on your audio, he's having trouble hearing you opposed to everyone else. So it's probably because you're too far away. And Joe McDonald says hello to everyone. And Kevin wants to know if why. That's a little, maybe a little bit better. You're fine on our end.
Sorry.
See,
Kevin says, "Why is?"
He just like this. Thank you, New York. Good night.
Kevin says, "Is Ali?"
And then like just drop right on top of your laptop, and we'd be like this. Oh.
And Kevin says, "Is Ali angry?" He probably is now because I just muted his mic.
Oh.
And
working fine right now.
And yes. Anyway, listen, it's quiet. Okay. Jamie, do you have any questions for our guests? And J-Bo McNeil says, just...
Hey!
Go ahead.
You asked me if I have a question, then you cut me off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Is Lily Munster in the shop?
Not right now.
So we really wanted to bring her back in to be more present in the store again, because she used to be here literally every Sunday and sometimes every Thursday, and it just got to a point where we didn't want anybody to pet her that were coming in from outside just for coronavirus reasons, but she's still here in spirit.
Hey,
that's our Lily portrait in the store.
That's awesome. So I saw, when you're going over all of your medical gear that you have to work every day, there's other dogs there too. So how many dogs do you guys actually have?
We have 3. Yeah, we've got 3, and then 4
that's
chickens.
what I thought. Yeah,
and 4 chickens.
Whoa! Chickens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
What?
What's the 4 chickens' name? May I ask?
Oh, okay. So we have 2 that are barred rocks that are named Ginger and Bridget after the sisters, the Fitzgerald sisters from Ginger Snaps.
Okay.
And then we also have Black Phillip and
from the witch,
and then Dag from Mad Max.
And no bake, no wing and biscuit, no.
No, they're our pets. We love them.
Okay. I'm sorry. That was a bad joke. I'm so sorry. You know what?
we do eat
We
chicken.
do eat chicken, though.
I'm sorry.
The chicken. Don't tell the chickens that.
I know, don't tell them, but we do eat chicken.
All right, guys, it is time for question of the week. Now we all know, and our guests that watch know that no one knows what this question is except for my wife Rose and I. So I'm going to post a question, and our audience that is watching and viewing, please chime in and answer this question as well. Due to the nature of who our guests are, this is why we have this question this week. And are you ready, Jamie? Are you ready for the question? All right, here it is. It's now time for this week's question of the week. This week's question is brought to you by Alter Reality Entertainment. What fictional haunted house would you like to spend the night in? What fictional haunted house would you like to spend the night in? Remember, if you have a question that you want. Ooh, what fictional haunted house would you like to spend a night in? Jamie, you go first. And where did Ali go?
This is gonna require some thought. Why does it have to be me first? How about
Because
I liked what show I just watched. Was it The Bly Manor?
Bly Manor. Okay. Okay.
That's my house. I would stay there.
Okay. Bly Manor. Okay, and let's see.
It's not a super scary haunted house. It's like a just haunted. Not really. I mean, people die, but I don't know.
All right, Jamie, you're pretty choppy tonight. You're very choppy tonight for some reason. Kevin says The Shining Hotel. J-Bo McNeil comes in. Yes, J-Bo McNeil says The Monster House. He would love to. Yes. Tim Jones from Sour Grapes. Great comic strip. You guys should check it out. And Jamie and I were in it many times. He says The Conjuring House. Grimlock Stonehammer, great supporter of the Angry Geek Show. How you doing, buddy? He says, whoa, hold on. He says The Addams Family House. And Valerie also says The Hill House. Brian Rose. I never heard of this house. Whipstaff with cat. Oh, okay. Casper.
Yeah, from
okay,
Casper,
good one. Yeah,
Why are people
I was like,
house that you could die in? Why?
Did you not see the question? Did you not see the question?
Do you watch that movie, girl? I'm just saying.
And Chris says, every movie I see in a haunted house in the end ends in death. That's a hard pass for me. Okay, Ali, there you go.
Eddie Murphy, The Haunted Mansion. Why? The black man lives. Thank you.
Thomas beat me to it.
The
house
from 13 Ghosts.
Okay, Thomas is another great fan. And let's see. Michael J says The Amityville Horror House. Nice. Nicole. Wow.
People die. Why? What's going on here?
Okay. Guys.
Did you ever watch
the
X-Files? The Christmas episode where they're in the haunted house? From one of the first seasons?
No.
Oh.
No, no. Okay, and then Corey says The Amityville Horror House. Wow, we're getting a lot of them. And then yes, and a lot of people are saying, okay, guys, okay, this is like Jamie coming on for the first time. That's how many comments we're getting tonight. I guess this question was a hit. Just wait till we get to the top 5 tonight. Holy moly. So do you guys...
Jamie, you want
to see Dave's comment? He wants to say... Dave said he wants to spend the night 1314 Mockingbird Lane.
You were just cutting out. I heard 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Plus, I would love to spend the night in 1313 Mockingbird Lane for a night.
You know, I will say we have some really interesting security footage from our old garage where lots of weird sounds and motion that would get picked up in the middle of the night, and it's all in like night vision, so it's super creepy. And we would post some of these little clips that we would get, and literally it was like this mystery of where is this sound coming from. And so, and our house is actually built in like 1865, so it's really, really old. And the garage is technically a carriage house separate from our house. That's all built with limestone, so it's super creepy. So there is a little, maybe, possibly.
Remember in the spider?
Like hauntedness.
Time out. You said spider?
One of the security camera footage, it comes on either with motion or sound, and it would come on. This is no joke, and Liz can attest. I don't really believe in ghosts as much as I want to. She does, but the witching hour is between 3 and 5 or something. Yeah. Every night, the cameras would come on for some reason,
a noise or just something it would pick up.
But one night, the biggest wolf spider you can imagine came crawling across the camera, and it was it was like what nightmares are made of. It was so creepy. But we did because technically our old garage, the carriage house where the store started, was actually the servants' quarter or the slaves' quarters back in the 1800s, because our house was a plantation house. I'm making it sound much bigger than the house actually is.
It's pretty small.
But ours was like a house on a plantation originally back in the day. So there's a lot of history, and there's rumored to be a entrance to the Underground Railroad closed in our basement.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's real cool.
Yeah, but even our the tiny store that the show was filmed in, we had an 800. The store itself was only 280 square feet, but the basement was 800 square feet of pure, like, stone concrete grossness. Like, I mean, like, we called it the dungeon, and it's where we stored, like, everything was in bins, but it was creepy as all get out down there.
You did not want to go down there after dark. It's really creepy.
Always weird stuff happening down there. We don't have a basement here though, but I'm hoping that some crazy stuff will start happening in the store.
Okay, I'm just tripping about the wolf spider right now. Okay.
In the green night vision.
Yeah, let's go back to this. Let's go talk about the store now. Basically, Lou, there anything you want to ask? I know you're a big toy head right here. This guy got every toy you could think of.
Yeah, unfortunately with the green screen, Terry and Liz can't see the full effect of the geek glare. So maybe when we're done recording, when we're off air, maybe I'll give them a quick tour. Now, we talk about it every week. Jamie's been on me to do another recording of the collection. Ali, you've been on me for it, and even Rose has been.
No, I've been on you to sell some of that stuff. You need to pay me.
So, Liz, I do have something. When you and Terry are at a convention, and Terry wants to buy something for his personal collection, and he says he needs it, what is your response to that?
So, funny enough, I'm usually the one who's like, you need to go get that. He's the one who's always just ho-humming. Should I spend the money?
I'm very frugal.
Do I really want to buy this? This is really cool, but do I really need it? And I'm always like, go buy it. You're never going to find the chance to get this thing again. It's right here in front of you.
It's a fact.
Go get it. Like, I'm always the one who's encouraging to go do something crazy and spend money and stuff like that. So he's the one who's always like, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to. So I'm the bad influence. Guilty.
We were in London for our honeymoon 11 years ago, and we were there 7 days, and I didn't spend one red cent till
I spent all my money immediately.
I didn't spend 1 cent till an hour, and the last day, right before we went back to the hotel room for the night. Then I finally pulled the trigger on a few things. I got a Cobra Commander sideshow figure and a few other things I've been looking for. But we went, and we kept going. I kept making her go back to the same toy stores. And I was like, she's like, well, just get it now. I'm like, nope.
Not yet. I got to make sure.
Nope.
See, me and you're the same. I'll see something like this. No, I ain't gonna get it. I walk around for the fifth time, and I finally say like this. Somehow my debit card fall out my pocket.
Yeah, it's the same.
Right?
See, the only reason why I asked that question is because I feel that my wife has this young lady babysitting me sometimes at a convention, because Jamie and I, we walk the aisle when we're not doing a panel, when we're not interviewing someone. And I would see a Superman statue or a Batman statue, something, and I'm like, I need it. And out of nowhere, even in full cosplay, Jamie would run up, don't. Exactly. You do not need it. You don't need it.
Out of your hand.
I learned very fast when we started doing conventions. You're doing a convention to make money. I mean, when you're selling, when you're a vendor, you're paying $1,000 for a table. You're having to pay overpriced food, hotel, all that stuff. So the first couple conventions I did, it's like, woo! I've got $500 in my hands, and you're walking around and I really just had to be like, rail it in, bud. You're here.
Can't be doing that.
Yeah, you're here to you don't want to come out behind. So I have very good self-restraint, but I mean, my toy collection is, I mean,
it's pretty insane.
We have an 800 square foot building in our backyard that was previously a recording studio, and once it wasn't used for that anymore, it just turned into my man cave. So it's got 3 walls that have about 10,000 DVDs and Blu-rays, and then all the other walls and everything's just covered with
just his collection.
Yeah.
Of just all, I mean, and the thing is, like, Carrie's not the kind of person to just collect like one particular line of toy or like one specific thing.
I love everything.
It's all over the place. I mean, it's a little bit of everything.
Well, that's like the story.
He's like, yes,
but that's like the story.
You are my new best friend. You are my new best friend.
Oh man, you done set yourself up there. Lou gonna come visit. Never gonna leave the place again.
People laugh when they come in the store because two common questions you get almost daily as a toy store owner. One, where do you get your stuff from? Like all the time. And people are like, oh, do you go to garage sales? Do you go to thrift stores? And my answer is like, well, no. 90% of this is all mine that I'm just funneling in. And the look on their face is like, and then the second thing we get all the time, and this just cracks me up, is, man, I want to do what you do. How do I open a toy store?
Yeah, how do I do that?
Well, why?
Okay, first of all, sell your soul, sell your car, sell your house, and then pretty much live in debt for the rest of your life. But
well, that's a good question to go on. What made you guys decide to open a toy store? I mean, I'm thinking, that's a challenge alone.
Honestly, the stress of both of us working in the medical field, and we both primarily work with COVID patients currently for the last year, along with running.
And I want to thank you guys for that. You guys are appreciated. We really do appreciate everything you guys do. Please be safe.
On it, I can say 2 things. One, had I known going into the medical field that there was going to be a pandemic, would I have still gone into the medical field? And I can't say yes, because I feel that it's my duty to help.
It's a calling. If you get into the medical field, you're there because you want to be there, and it's a lot of hard work to get there in the first place. So
if I had to do it over and someone said, "Hey, you're gonna get your respiratory license, but in 5 years you're going to be working. You are going to be the most prioritized healthcare worker, and you're going to have to work with these patients
that are highly contagious and could potentially kill you."
Hands down, always would. Not
without
even
a doubt. If it means killing somebody, I'm there.
But the toy store, on the other hand, very honest, as much as I love it, is hard. I don't know if I would have opened a toy store. No, I would open a toy store after a pandemic, but navigating one through a pandemic has been one of the single hardest things that I know I've ever had to do. There's just so much to it, and everything works against you. And I'm making it sound horrible, but we love it. I mean, in our souls. But it is like, I've done a lot with my life, and I've accomplished a lot, and this has been one of the hardest things to get through, is owning I should say not just owning a business, a small business that barely makes ends meet anyway, through a pandemic. You got to be closed for 3 months, and you got to limit your customers, and they have to wear masks, and all this other stuff that goes along with it, and it's
a lot.
And I see the praises from the comments on the board, but I also want to ask you guys, since you guys worked in medical field, did you guys kind of see the shutdown coming, and like you guys kind of like sat down at the dinner table, kind of like planning ahead, like, okay, this is going to eventually happen. What should we?
Yes, and being in the medical field, that is kind of one of the advantages that we had. One, we can actually see that we were anticipating that this was the direction that everybody was going to kind of move in, but also we had this knowledge of what this meant, and also how to protect ourselves, how to protect our customers, and what it would take in order to have our store open and still keep them safe. And I think that is such a key thing that we wanted to make sure to instill in our customers, was a feeling of safety when they would come to our store, to feel like I can go there and rely that common surfaces are going to be wiped down consistently throughout the day, and I can actually come in there and feel safe. I can have my shopping experience and feel like they're looking out for me, and keep me from coming home with a feeling of, what did I come home with other than this bag of toys. So
we I mean, we nightly conversations with us. How can we make this safer for our customers? How can this be better for our customers? How can we make sure that we are keeping everyone's safety in check that come in here? Because I know for me, if I knew that someone got traced back to getting sick in my store, I'd have a really hard time living with myself. I mean, that's the bottom line. And we do so much cleaning in here all the. I mean,
it's just part of the daily job.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But we love it. Like the reason I'm not in the music industry anymore is because I did it for 30 years and I felt burned out finally. And I feel like once you lose passion for something, you can always move on. And toys have always been my three loves, music, toys, movies. So I already got the music thing checked off my list. Did that for more than half my life. Now I'm onto the toy portion of my life.
We always joke that, in our retirement years, we're going to move to California and just be extras in the background.
Yeah. So
well, technically, you have done the movie thing. I mean, the shows are very successful. I mean, we
joke all the time about trying to have a reality TV show because, no joke, every once in a while we will have these customers that will walk in the door, and the experience that you have, like the exchange that takes place, you literally are like, how is no one else here to see this?
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of your wonderful customers. Actually, right. I mean, I'm looking at the comments.
Yeah, we got a bunch of comments. William says that he can't say enough good things about this store, and it's a top-notch COVID front masks all the time, and you guys wipe down everything. And Chris says that he's never felt safer in any store during that. No. And Angrygeeks supported. Go ahead.
Oh, we were one of the first stores in Lawrence to require masks even before a mandate, and I had grown men in here stamping their feet like
little children.
Oh my God! Like what? Like just
could not believe that we were going to ask them to do that.
I mean, I had some people like full, but I will say that the people that I remember that had the big meltdowns swallowed their pride and came and apologized and were so nice and just like we get it. After the quarantine and reopening, so many people apologized and like, we're so sorry we put you through the ringer. We understand you were just trying to be proactive and
you're trying to keep everybody safe. I mean, this is a deadly virus here. I mean,
well, and there's even some customers that came in that said, I refuse to wear a mask anywhere else but your store.
We have the best customers in the universe, and I will arm wrestle anyone that tells me different. Everyone that comes in here are just so amazing.
Awesome.
Sarah Van Cleef says Terry and Liz are amazing people. Grimlock Stonehammer says that you have his support. He's a big supporter of Angrygeeks, that he's with us every week. And Brian Rose, another supporter of the Angrygeeks, says that he's just been on your website and he's looking for those TMNT toys, and he's like, hot damn. So hopefully you guys get some sales going on after tonight.
Can you mention the website so the people that are watching can go to it?
Oh, sure. And I will preface this, and this is very hard for some people to wrap their head around, is that our official website is 100% separate from the physical store and our social media, because Liz helps me as much as she can, but she's working 4 days a week in a hospital. So I'm doing it about 99% by myself. So I keep the website completely inventory separate from the store and social media. But I can sell it all. But the official website is 1313mockingbirdtoys.com.
Okay. 1313 mockingbirdtoys.com.
Mm-hmm. And then
what?
Our social media, we'll show toys sometimes on our social media, and Terry will just be like, hey, I just happen to have this thing that just came in today. And the only way you can get it is either to claim it through our social media sites or come into the physical store and buy it that way.
Because if I had to maintain two different inventories, because I have, 4 storage units filled with toys and a store, and trying to navigate it all by myself, it would be impossible for me to do a website and the physical store and not double sell things.
Thanks, Chris.
If that makes sense. Yay!
Chris put it up.
Thank you,
Chris.
Chris
Was on the show with us, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the website's a good resource, but also if you check us out on Facebook and Instagram under 1313 Mockingbird KS, everything we post on those is completely separate from the website. So it kind of, a lot of people kind of like, well, I saw you post this thing on Instagram. I went to your website and you don't have it. And we do have a big disclaimer on the website that says exactly what I just said, but I think
it's hard for people to kind of wrap their head around it a little bit.
You know, but there's a lot of toy stores I've learned that don't ship and don't sell online, which for me, I don't know how anyone makes it right now.
Well,
without doing
I couldn't tell you. What made you guys come up with the name 1313 Mockingbird?
So,
the Munsters. What are you?
Hush, Lewis. The happy couple are talking.
Yeah, he's like, I got it. It's me. Wait. Ooh, me. So yeah, it's the Munsters address. Terry has been obsessed with the Munsters, and I have too, because I used to watch it on reruns all the time as a kid also. But he always had this thing that if we were to ever do a business,
no matter what it was,
whatever it was going to be, that was going to be the name.
Well,
so,
Liz even asked me when we started in our garage, she was like, well, we can't just call it the garage store. It has to be something.
Call it something.
And so she's like, what should we call it? And it's weird. I didn't even think about it. Like,
without hesitation.
I just went 1313 Mockingbird. You know, I didn't say the Munsters. I didn't say, oh, Herman's Toy Chest or something. It just blurted out, and that's what it was.
Just stuck.
It was.
Although I will tell you, our mailman does not like the fact that the name of our business is an address that doesn't exist.
So he like stand in front of your store like this. God dang it.
He literally said to us, you do realize having a store that is an address as a name was a really bad idea.
The mailman for the physical store, he came in to give me my first piece of mail, and he has it in his hand, lays it on the counter. He's like, so let me get this straight. Your store's named after an address with an address. And I was like, yep, that's right. He's like, good luck with that. And he like walks out.
What's funny is, hold on. What's funny is I use a 1313 Mockingbird Lane all the time. I continuously would say, where do you live? 1313 Mockingbird Lane. I used to say that all the time. That's one of the reasons why I reached when I saw that. I'm like, my God, that's bloody brilliant. Because I too grew up on the Munsters, and I absolutely loved it.
Can you let me say hilarious. Something to your friends right quick? Not you guys. I love you two right here. To the two commenters, yes, you guys. I will censor myself because I really want to say something really, really mean right now. I am aware of the Munsters, yes, but I want to know where they came up with their title of the name of the store. Thank you. Now go to bed. Past bedtime.
And we
say something else. I won't go off on you.
And we did have Butch Patrick and Munster in store here about a year and a half.
I don't know why someone need to strap it to a chair. Let him watch Munster. Go to bed. No ice cream. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Terry.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I gotta.
You gotta just let it out.
Yeah. We had Butch Patrick here about a year and a half ago, who's Eddie Munster, and on the show, and that was just surreal for me.
He was such a nice guy.
I heard. How did that come about?
They called me. His wife called me. She's like, gosh, I feel so bad. I don't remember her first name, but she calls me. She's like, hi, and she doesn't have his last name, Patrick. She's like, hi, I'm Mary Elizabeth. I'm Butch Patrick's wife, and we're going to be going to Oklahoma for a car show, and we were just made aware of your shop, and we were wondering if we could do
But okay, hold on. Let me preface this with, when she initially called, because she's a very serious person.
Yes.
She's very dry. And so when she initially called, she was very business oriented.
That is true.
She said, can I please speak to the owner of the store? And so Terry was like, me? What can I do for you? And she was like, okay, well, this is so-and-so. I am the did she say like the wife, or how did she like address herself?
I think she said, well, she
the
said,
manager of Butch Patrick from the show The Munsters.
But she said, I was just made aware of your store.
So initially Terry's thought is, oh, farts, we're gonna get like sued. She's gonna try and get us to try and change the name. Like there's gonna be some sort of like,
though I did have a
lawyers
lawyer
involved.
I did have a lawyer. I did pay a lawyer to research to make sure I could actually use the name. So I am covered on that. But yeah, and for a nominal fee, she said we could come to the store and do this meet and greet thing. So I just was like, oh man, just like the thought of me spending any money is just never good. I'm so like managing a store day to day and trying to do your budgets and trying to like think, I'm very scared to spend money. So spending money and having someone come in store, and I love him to death. I mean, obviously I'd want him here, but
it was a gamble.
And it was a Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Tuesday.
It was a gamble.
But we did 250 people. There was a line around the block. Butch was so shocked that he had that many people on a Tuesday night. He'd be in the middle of signing something for somebody, and he would just still see the line, and he would just, because we're only letting 5 people in at a time because it was the small store, and he would just get up in the middle of talking to someone, and his wife would be like, WTF? Like
what are you doing?
And he would get up and go outside, and he'd come in, he'd look at me, he's like, there's still a line down the block. And I'm like, well, yeah, Butch.
They're coming to see you.
And it was great. I mean, like, he made a killing in autographs. People were so happy. Funny story, I had this Munsters Go Home poster I'd bought in Seattle on tour back in the mid-90s.
Yep,
And so I have been saving this sucker forever. And so,
of course, we have this opportunity. So Terry was like, okay, this is the one thing I want to make sure he gets signed before he leaves, right?
And so Butch's wife, in between I think the signing took way longer than I didn't think they expected 250 people to come. So it went longer.
But he was like, I'm not leaving until I sign every last autograph.
Great.
He did awesome.
But they did have a timeline of where they other places they needed to go. Yeah. So his wife said, okay, in between guests, give me everything you want signed by Butch, and we'll get.
I'll just pass it along. Have him do it real quick. We'll be done.
So she has me write Terry and Liz on a sticky note, and I slap it on there, and she gives it to him, and he signs it. And he's like, oh, this is for him, and he signs it, and he hands it back to me, and I put it off to the side, and then he keeps signing, and then there was like a lull where he was taking a minute to drink, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna look at my new glorious picture. And was it Tom?
No, it was like, oh, what did he sign it? It was
another T name.
It was like Timmy again. Timmy. I don't know, something like that.
It's so funny. So I see he put the wrong name on there. This is the poster I've had for freaking.
Oh no!
That I carried on tour for months to bring home in one piece, stowed it away to be properly put up somewhere and hopefully signed by a Munsters at some point. So I see it and I just blurt out, Butch, did you sign this Timmy? And he's like, no, I signed it Terry, whatever your name is. And his wife, who's all business, she gave
him the worst death stare.
So like, and so she's just like, I promise we'll make this good.
We'll fix it.
So
don't worry.
Maybe like three more people in, a girl comes in with the same pressing, same poster. He's trying to buy it off of her, and she's like, no. But she's like, no, I want you to sign it for me. Like, so this girl he's like $100. Like, the woman is like, no.
He felt so bad.
Yeah, like, and he signed a bunch of other stuff for me, but dang it.
Did you scream out, Tim?
It sounds like another Richard Dreyfuss moment.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got to do the top 5 really quick because we're running out of time. So get ready for some Lewis bashing, because every week we all know that the top 5 is pretty much where Jamie yells at me and Ali makes fun of me. And quiet in the peanut gallery. So here is this week's top 5. this week's top 5. Iconic sitcom character. Number 5. Urkel. Number 4. Al Bundy. Number 3. Morticia Adams. Number 2. Orc. This week's honorable mention, Alf. And our number 1 this week, Arthur Fonzarelli. There you have it, the iconic sitcom characters. That's this week's top 5. So, how'd I do this week, guys?
I'm gonna be all honest with you. I wasn't paying attention.
There were some good ones.
You know,
honorable mention.
You sure? Alf, there you go. Where did you? Jamie
Alf.
Left because she.
I saw Alf and I had to go take care of something. I'm like, okay, they're Alf on it. I had no idea what the theme was. But if they liked it, good job, Blue.
No arguments.
And Aviva says no arguments this week. Look at that. And William says, Okay, well, thank you, William. And let's see. Nicole says,
Did I
yes,
do that?
Steve Urkel, yes. And J-Bo McNeil says, a good top 5. Kyle said, seriously, who made this list? Yeah, well, and and let's see. Brian Rose, he met Henry Winkler. Yes, Jamie and I had an interview with Henry Winkler, but he had to leave. Where did Jamie go? Kind of bad. And Grimlock Stone, you know who made the list. It's me every week. And yes, and well, at least this week's top 5 was no Seinfeld. Sorry, no Seinfeld. Not this time. Maybe next time. Any sitcom character without. Oh, and what was this? Kyle says any sitcom character list without Lucille a Ball is flawed. Ooh.
I gotta agree with her. I gotta agree there, man. Sorry, Lou. I completely forgot about Lucille Ball.
Yeah, and Joe McDonald says that I had worst top 5s. Yes, I did. I did.
So
yes.
So guys.
Anyway, guys.
Okay, I'm just gonna talk over Lou. So, guys, any future plan for the store coming up that you want to promote?
Well, we do these Facebook Live sales generally the last Sunday of every month.
Okay.
So we have one coming up this Sunday, February 28th. Facebook Live sale, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Usually goes from about 7 to 8:30. They're a lot of fun. We do a lot of fun stuff, goofing around on the live sale.
It's a lot of stupid human tricks that I make him do in between sales.
Yes. Like a couple times it's been drinking awful soda, eating awful food, but we make it fun. But also we put I try and put big lots of toys together. Like this this sale I'm doing like a Captain Spaulding lot with a bunch of different Captain Spaulding stuff. I'm doing a Transformers lot. I'm doing a bunch of other lots, and then people buy them on the sale, and it's always a fun time and always a lot of people watching.
And once again, can you tell them what day, what time that's going to be at?
Sure, it's going to be on the official 1313 Mockingbird Lane Facebook, it's the facebook.com/1313 Mockingbird KS, and it's going to be this Sunday, February 28th at 7 p.m. Central Standard.
All right. So, Lou, you know what to get me now, because he said Transformers. So, Ultra Magnus, Optimus Prime.
Yep.
I even take the one that did treason. Yeah, Rodimus. Yeah, I called it. Rodimus is Rodimus' fault that Optimus died. So, but I'll still take him.
All right. Well, let me say this, Ali. My birthday was this Friday, and get me for my birthday.
I'm here, ain't I? You're welcome.
Oh. No.
Oh.
Anyway, that's all we have for this. I know. That's all, sweet Jamie. Please tell everyone that where they can find us each and every week.
Am I actually working? Like, is this? I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties.
Yes.
You're
Yeah, I know you were quiet all night.
Well, because I'm on my phone.
You were quiet all night.
Because I finally had enough with that stupid computer. But you can find us at theangrygeekshow.com or on Facebook and Instagram at the Angry Geeks Show or angrygeeks.com, whatever. We're
And
there.
let's
Just
give a
Google it.
Shout out to 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
All right, so guys, are they?
Thank you.
Hold on 1 second. Wait a minute. Jamie, I got to ask a question, and Ali, you can weigh in on this too. Even though we have not physically been to their store, we just see pictures, we just seen it online. I do too. I think we should make a road trip.
We should do an Angry Geeks road trip.
I would definitely be down.
That's
once
what
we
I'm
all
saying.
get vaccinated, you know.
Okay.
So we all be on the same car together. Because Lou, you sneeze,
that's what I'm
getting thrown out.
That's what I'm thinking. But in the meantime, should we send out a "We Are Angry Geeks" approved stamp so they can be outside of New England and be inside the network? What do you guys think? Yay or nay?
I get to.
Yay!
All right, we're gonna need your mailing address. You guys are now Angry Geeks approved. So Ed Thomas says, pick him up. He wants to come with us. Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys right here live next week. And Chris says it's worth the trip. We will see you guys next week. Thank you for being on.
Are we off for real? Are we still here?
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.